Hey, Jesse from Killing Heidi here, and may the rock be with you.
Jesse, pleasure, mate. Welcome to May the Rock Be With You.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Now, have you had the chance to check anyone out while you've been playing on this festival?
Look, not as many as I would have liked because the weather has been restricting the wandering around, let's put it that way, especially when I'm an idiot dressed in white. So I've only got myself to blame. Caught a little bit of L7, a little bit of Jet, and a little bit of Living End.
Yep.
And L7 is the only one I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Hoping tomorrow at Brisbane I can get around and see a few more. Yeah.
We got to hear a lot of bands that have had the that sounds good. Now, it is great to see Killing Heidi back out there, though.
Thanks.
So, what's it like being up on stage again after so long?
Well, look, we reformed in 2016 with this idea of let's just do like a year of celebrate some shows, celebrate some some music or whatever, and yeah, we've just kept loving it. So it feels like, especially with the reciprocal thing of the crowd and people know the songs.
Yep.
I think for us, if we were promoting new music, it would feel really different. But we're kind of just like celebrating stuff that everyone already knows.
Yeah.
And so for us, people sing along. It's stuff that a lot of the songs sort of are quite familiar to people from various eras. So it's fun. It's really fun. I think the main thing is that we get up there, we try and just have fun. And but today the energy was great. There was people singing along and stuff, and so was yesterday in Melbourne. So we're really grateful. We feel like that's actually quite something that a lot of bands may never get to experience, that level of people knowing the material. So we're very grateful for that.
I actually asked that of a lot of people. When playing songs, we get to see what you do, and obviously, but what's your favourite thing to see from the stage, looking at the crowd?
Look, today there was just a beautiful sort of waving thing going on in a song we do called Live Without It that was just beautiful, and it just means that people are connecting to it rhythmically and they're feeling it. That was beautiful, and then we start to sort of do it as well. I was like hypnotized, so that was beautiful. But yeah, it's just people smiling and having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the time I'm kind of quite internally focused. I'm trying to be present, and I do look out sometimes, but usually it's people smiling, and that's good. As long as people aren't be like,
get off.
Yeah.
That's why they don't give you bottles anymore.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, anything.
All right, let's reflect on Reflector. 25 years.
Yeah, crazy, right?
What do you remember about releasing it? Quarter of a century ago.
Not much about the specifics. It was just a bit of a blur. I remember when Weir came out, it sort of was Triple J only for 6 months, and it crossed over, and then things just went berserk.
Wow.
So I remember we were doing a few shows. We were getting added to festivals around the country, and we would be on early, really early, because we were the new kids that had the Unearthed song Kettle. That was what knew us. The only song people knew. And then all of a sudden it just crossed over to commercial radio, and the Mascara came out and went to number one, and the album came out. And so then everything kind of shifts. So my memory of that era is just like playing every TV show there was. And at that time there was a lot of TV shows and music, so it was like playing TV shows every week, radio sessions every week, award shows every week. So it was I just remember being really, really busy and exciting.
Yeah.
There was still quite a lot of live shows in amongst that, but it was really about promotion because everything just kicked into gear, and we just said yes to everything. So I just remember being really busy, really fun, pretty wild. I was a kid from the country, and I was like, "You beauty."
Yeah, right.
I was 18, and everything was being offered to me.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went, people would take us out to dinner and parties and everything like that. So it was a pretty wild time.
Living the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's look ahead 25 years. Looking at Reflector now, what are your thoughts on the record now?
Look, I think it still sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I think it sounds of the time. Like it sounds like it's, for me, like it dated in a good way. It sort of represents a particular window that sounded really cool and fresh then.
Yep.
There's definitely parts of it that I feel like, because we were just starting off as songwriters and arrangers and producers, we never really had done that before on a big level. We'd produced the ABC Unearthed song with some people. It was pretty gentle acoustic tracks. It was quite authentic in terms of the recording.
Yep.
And the Reflector album there was heaps of overdubs and lots of arrangement ideas. There was string sections. There was hundreds of guitars overdubbed. So I think we loved that because we had a certain amount of knowledge and ideas of what we wanted, and then the production team on top of that basically helped fill in the rest. So it was amazing learning experience.
Yep.
And as we went to albums after that, we basically progressively wanted to strip it back to make it a little bit simpler, I guess. Mm-hmm. But Reflector was bombastic. It was the opposite. It was like we just aimed for we didn't want it to sound like a humble rock record. We wanted to sound like we wanted to go up against Garbage and Savage Garden, and
Yeah.
like we're like on that kind of level.
Mate, the love for it, and obviously today and all sorts of things, it's still there.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, it's a great thing. So I always like asking this, and I've mixed them up a bit because we're talking about live again. When you're playing live, what's the weirdest thing that's ever popped into your head while you've been playing live?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, sometimes the mind wanders, and you're just like, "What am I thinking about?" I mean, like,
hard, right?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's constantly weird stuff going in my head. I mean, it's just like, what is happening? Is this the right song? Is this the right tuning? Is the guitar going to snap? Is the string going to snap? It's usually like, you know, freaking out about something going wrong.
We had someone before talking about figuring out what the next song is, and they start playing the riff of the next song, so they have to try and get that out of their head.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Now, it's been a while, and I say a while, 20-odd years since new music from the band.
Yes.
Ella's done solo stuff.
Yes.
Has there ever been talk of a Killing Heidi record?
Look, we have discussed it very loosely. So the closest we got was we did this other project called The Verses after Killing Heidi, and we made this amazing album. It was a bit more sort of like a country kind of folk thing. We got to tour with Fleetwood Mac. It was kind of sounded like Fleetwood Mac. So we had some amazing time there, and it was still us working together, but without the other guys, and it wasn't very rock and roll. Since then, Ella's been doing solo stuff, and I've been collaborating on different things. It's one of those things where we say never, but it's not a high priority at the moment. But I don't know, doing these kind of things, maybe just slightly warms that up a little bit.
It's got to get the fires burning, man. It's got to get the itch going.
Yeah, well, we've got some exciting re-release news coming for next year. I can't say too much. Possibly, yeah. Cool. So we've got some cool stuff happening next year, but it is retrospective. That's all I can say. But TBC.
Or no, that's right.
I'm not sure actually what I'm allowed to say. I've been not saying anything.
Well, we won't edit that out. I've done this all day, and you're the last one of the day. Right. We're at the Good Things Festival today. All right. I would like to know a good thing that's happened to you this year.
A good thing that's happened to me this year? I've been pretty lucky this year. My daughter started primary school.
Amazing.
So that's been a huge shift for me and my family, and she's thriving.
Yeah.
Me and Ella have sort of been both just basking in different kind of musical kind of stuff. So her sort of solo stuff, I've loved watching her do that, but also love getting together and do some shows. I think, to be honest, this is probably one of the coolest things to end the year on, right? Like, honestly, when we got asked to do this, it was like, wow, that's really cool. Yeah. And we haven't been asked to do something quite like this for a while. We've been doing a whole bunch of awesome festivals, mainly sort of summer stuff. So when this came through, I mean, this is up there.
All right. Well, it's a good way to end the year,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
I mean, I've spoken to Ella a number of times, and she's an absolute delight. And she's a bit under the weather. I think she's a bit
she's
sore.
She's always a little bit sore. So I'm trying to save. She's got one more gig to get through today. So I appreciate you taking the
of course
Big Brother option.
No. Please send my love though. Like,
we'll do.
Now, what does 2025 look like for Killing Heidi?
Well, all right.
I'm
not sure what all that.
Talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, there is some cool stuff coming. Okay. So basically, it's a 25-year anniversary of Reflector.
Right.
We've got some exciting news coming out with that, and we're going to do some headline shows. We're going to play some Reflector in full headline shows of our own.
Oh, good.
So it's really cool to be asked to play Reflector in full. Some of these songs we haven't played for 25 years, some of the album tracks, and it's been amazing. And so we're keen to do a bit more of that.
Okay.
As well.
We look forward to that.
It's going to be great.
I know you talked about the verses before. Done and dusted, never back to again.
Look, Ella's keen to get that back on the go, but it's just trying to fit it all in.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What else you
got? Right? Easy.
Children and life
That's
and whatever.
Right. Yeah, we can compartmentalize that.
We look forward to it.
Thanks, man.
Jesse, thank you so much, man.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it.